Welcome. Spirit is so beautiful. Meditation is so sweet. The path to enlightenment doesn't have to be tough. My teacher said that enlightenment was easy. You just had to want it more than anything. It's been my experience that that's true. It also means that you have to not have anything between you and your higher self or the infinite. Huh. And our life is full of things. Our thoughts are full of things. I'm going to do something that I think is kind of quite funny, um, in a way. I'm I have a Hindu name. I'm a Buddhist with a Hindu name, and I'm going to quote something from Christ, because in my view, they're all the same. Everything is everything's enlightenment. But here's what Christ said: "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin cannot destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." In Tibetan Buddhism, they talk about hungry ghost. I did a talk on this a couple of years ago, but I'll review it. Hungry ghosts are those aspects that we have in life where we think, if I do this, I'll be happy. If I, you see an advertisement on a new car, oh my gosh, it's driven by professional drivers, and it's been detailed, so there's not a single flaw on the whole car, and they're driving it down the road, and everybody, all the actors in it, are just joyous and happy, and there's the guy with the good-looking girl, or maybe the other way around. You think, oh, if I could get that car, then I could be happy. And you get the car, you put your intent, and you get the car, you get a good deal. You're going to make it a good thing. But within 3 or 4 months, just a very short time, the newness wears off. People think, if I get married, I will be happy. All my dreams will come true if I get married. That's what they say in the books, and that's what I've been taught. although it didn't work so good for my parents, but I'm sure it'll work good for me. So you get married, and about 3, 4, maybe 6 months later, the honeymoon is over. And you wonder what you did sometimes. Hungry ghosts are those things outside of you that you think will complete you, that you think will make you happy. And when you get them, they do for a short period of time, but they quickly fade. Everything here on this earth is transitory. That means it's passing through. It's not going to stay. Okay, how about this? How about I give you a choice of having $1 million or not having $1 million, but living like a millionaire. Which one would you make? You might logically say, well, if I have the $1 million, I'll live like a millionaire. But many millionaires are not very happy. They're always having to look at their money. They're always having to make sure that a vermin doesn't come in, or a thief doesn't come in and take all their stuff. They're not happy. You'd think all of that money would make them really happy. And for a while it does. It does give you a little bit now and again. But at the end of your life, all the money you have will be gone when you leave. You don't take it with you. You take the ability to make money with you. That's a good thing. But you don't take the riches with you. Well, you say, well, if I don't have $1 million, how can I live like a millionaire? I have only one word for you, and that word is consciousness. Consciousness is what you can embody. This is how I define it. It's what you can embody for yourself. You can have everything in this world and not embody happiness or joy. You can do everything that you can possibly think of doing and not feel complete. What makes you complete? One thing makes you complete. And that one thing is when you finally get around to connecting to your higher self, the infinite. Everything here on this earth comes and goes. But enlightenment has no end. It has no beginning. So it has no way to come or to go. It's just here in every single moment. And all you have to do is want it more than anything. In many practices, they have you renunciate, to give up everything. You give up, when you would go, many times in past lives, we would go into a monastery and, take all your clothes, all of your belongings, put them in a box and give them to the poor or whatever. And they give you a robe. And a new name, so that you no longer associate with the past. You have now left the past and have dedicated your life to spiritual practice and to enlightenment, the seeking of enlightenment. Things haven't changed. It's still that way. Except in today's world, we do it a little bit more difficult. Instead of just going into some temple or ashram and becoming lost in that world, in today's world, you have to be in the world. There's too many people, too much human aura. You really can't get away from it. So what you have to do is figure out how to connect with your higher self And once you do that, everything falls into place. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have money, quite the opposite. Money is a wonderful thing. Money is a measurement, in many ways, it's a measurement of your personal power. Money, as my teacher said, provides a buffer between you and the jagged edges of survival. Money provides you options. Maybe your spiritual community is planning a pilgrimage to some beautiful place, maybe the pyramids or, some place of power. And if you don't have the money to buy the ticket or to travel there or to get accommodations when you're there, it's not much of a journey. So in today's world, we do need finances, but many times we get caught up in thinking that the money that we make is going to provide us with everything we need. And it will provide you with all of your physical needs, but it won't provide you with that hole that's in your being that you know is not filled. There's nothing you can put in this world that's going to fill that hole, that void. There's nothing you can do. $1 million won't fill that void. Just go look at some millionaires and you'll see. Being poor doesn't fill that void either. Just look at the beggars on the street and see how fulfilled they are. What fills that void inside of you is the focus upon the eternal, the beautiful thing of spirit that is all around us all of the time. It's everywhere present. It's the only power there is. And there's nothing that it is ignorant of. It is aware of everything. That's your higher self. That's the eternal part of you. I think it's in Zen that they say, you want to see your original face. What is the face that you had before you incarnated? While we're in the body, we tend to look at everything in terms of things. Everything has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So when we start thinking, we're thinking in terms of things. But there's something that's beyond the things. There's something that is actually what the things are made of. It's what's created the things. And it's what has created your awareness of those things. So everyone has their own view of this eternal process that's going on all around us. All the time. It never stops. I guess, I'm just trying to relate to you that there's something beyond this world. There's something beyond the occupations and the adoration of others and maybe the fame and fortune. There's something more than that. Something really precious. It's above everything else once you touch it. Once you touch the spirit, everything else fades. You are God in the flesh. You create your realities through your perception and through your intention and through your will. And if you're so busy focusing upon your businesses or upon your automobiles or upon your relationships or upon anything of this world, you'll find temporary happiness and you'll also find loss because all of these things go after a while. Nothing remains. Nothing remains except enlightenment. And the good news is you are made of enlightenment. That's what your soul consists of. That's what everything in this world consists of, is enlightenment. But we're so caught up in the dream that we don't really look at the dreamer that much, do we? A good friend of mine wrote a book, Lynn Miller. She wrote a book, said Awakening from the Dream, or the Dream of Awakening. Forget the name of the book, but it's about waking up from a dream. We wake up from this dream into enlightenment. There are many ways to attain enlightenment, almost as many as there are teachers. But it really comes down to you. Do you really want to be free of this world and still be in it? Do you want to live like a millionaire without all the worries of having the millions of dollars? Would you rather be free? Free of the constraints of all the attachments? Free of all of those hungry ghost desires? All it requires, my friend, is for you to dedicate yourself to your spiritual nature, just 20, 30 minutes every morning, and 20, 30 minutes before you go to bed. Just spend that 45 minutes to an hour every day, just for that short period of time, focusing on eternity, focusing on your higher self. A lot of people, when they get into spiritual practice, they become very aware of the world. And it's tempting, it's very tempting to just ignore yourself and start looking inwardly, psychically, at what's going on in Europe, or what's going on with your friend in New York, or what's going on, in your business, And you can do that while think you're meditating, but all you're doing is traveling around, just creating new dreams. And that's fun. It's fun to do. But if you want enlightenment, you focus totally upon the oneness of all, upon eternity, upon the infinite nature of eternity. Realizing that infinity has no edges. It has no boundaries. And the center of the universe, the very center of the universe, is in your heart and in your mind. The universe doesn't have any boundaries, but you give it boundaries inside yourself. You're limited by your 5 senses, and you're limited by your mental capacities. But there's a part of you that when you stop your thought and you focus on it completely, you see beyond the veil. Wow. You can do it in this life. No matter how horrible you've been up until this moment, you can change. One of the most powerful saints and followers that Christ had was Paul. Paul spent the first part of his life as Saul. That was his human name, Saul. And he spent the first part of his life murdering Christians. He killed a lot of them. He was quite notorious for hunting down and killing Christians. Until one day he met Christ. He met his higher self on the road. And his life changed. From that moment on, he was focused totally upon spirit. You can attain, if he can attain enlightenment, you can attain enlightenment. You haven't gone around murdering people. You may have done some pretty horrible things. Yeah, I'm sure we all have. But if you seek and touch the divine, what have you become? When you touch the infinite, what just happened? Well, obviously, if you did, you lost your human form. And you became your original face, which is tuned in with the infinite. So I'm encouraging you today to renew your meditations if you've stopped. And if you haven't, start to meditate. There are lots of wonderful meditation teachers out there, many from my own lineage. But you can find enlightenment just about anywhere if you're intent enough. You'll be pulled to the right teacher, to the right practice for you. But I encourage you to make that your number one priority. Focus on your higher self to realize just how perfect you and everything is. To live a life of freedom. You still enjoy things. You still enjoy maybe going to work. Maybe you enjoy being creative in other ways. It's something that you need to do for yourself. That's why it's called self-discovery. And when we talk about self-discovery, we're talking about the big S, not the little s as our ego is. We want to get into discovering the bigger self, the eternal self, the enlightened self. As we let go of our angers and our hurts and our prejudices and all of these things, and forgiving people, forgiving ourselves, we get rid of the darkness inside of us that puts a film over our eyes. And when that film is dropped away through love and through kindness and through forgiving and through compassion, empathy and compassion, then you're liberated. And you can do it in this life if you really want to, more than anything. So I'm really encouraging you to keep meditating. I'm encouraging you to place your focus upon the eternal, upon your spiritual nature. Let it take any form it needs to take for you. But soon you'll reach a place where there is no form and you're just free. Truly free. So good luck, my friends. And if there's any way I can assist you, any way that I can possibly assist you, without interfering with your path, let me know. That's what we're here for. We're all here to help each other find awakening. Good luck.